Very, very, very important to see them in these fashions. Tzadikim. Very, very, very important thing. Okay, so the Indian that we were talking about yesterday a little bit, Parshas Mishpatim being the parsha of the Gulgulim, Elon Sidurin the Gulgula Einsham, and so it says the Zohar Kodesh that Parshas Mishpatim is all about the Gulgulim. So if the idea, Rabbi say, of Gulgulim being Maimon in the Indian understanding that we've all been here before, we all have what to correct. But one of the most important things is, in order to reach the tikkun, is through being Mekasher ourselves with Tzadikim. Many reasons why. First of all, the person is Mekusha to the Tzadik. Then, Mekusha means he follows his eitzes, and if it's a Tzadik, if it's the Svarim HaKadoshim or the Tzadikim that are passed on, so then always with this dapkus of the Torah to the Tzadikim, it's married to the person clearly his avoid in this world, and if it's a tzaddik that's alive, that you can have a panim conversation, a discussion, b'meshech, the years of iskashus, a person will also come to that gefil or yedi amiti, so what he has to be masakin through the eitzes and through tzaddik has the koich through his dibur to be ma'ir, the panimius, the nekuda panimi of every single yid. And of course, with all of that together, there's an akuda which is so important, which the Svarim HaKadoshim tell us that a yid that mitzad atzmai, mitzad himself, could be he's not holding and not royi to be zoichet to big madregas. Big madregas. I'm talking about big madregas, big amunah, big bitachim, big hasagas. Sometimes he knows that he gets an hasaga in something which, if he's honest and not about gaiva, he has a bittul, he knows for sure this didn't come from his own essence. It must be b'schus some Indian that is mekasher to. A lot of times it could happen. You could have all the son the biggest soiris. There's a musik called the ibur tzadikim. A person goes to kever of a tzadik. You should ask that tzadik. Please spear a piece of your soul into me. Please shine some of your soul into me. Person, a lot of times the Svarim HaKadoshim tell us that a person can wake up one day with a biggest soiris. And there's ways how to get to the soiris, but sometimes it's in a surusa de la'ila, it's a schus from above that a person's going to have to go through in a soir that day, and because of his discussions with the tzaddik ends up coming into him, literally, comes into his soul. And a person can get up on sometimes in the morning with such a fresh soiris, and he knows clearly that he didn't go to sleep as a big tzaddik to get to the soiris, and the soiris is not because I have a big tzaddik, the soiris is because of even the neshama. Some tzaddik had rachmanas on my poor soul, my poor goof, my holy soul, which I'm diminishing its light through my actions that are no good, and Mama should cause within me a tremendous infusion of kedusha, a tremendous infusion of awakening in order to be able to be zoicha, to be misgaber over the Yetzirah, be misgaber over the Sionis that will, that are going through. Or if a person's mamish heading for a big disaster, he needs an extra siyata d'shmaya. So that his kashrus will give him an ibn neshama that will be zoichet to be mizgaber over that in you. And also, stam mamish as a freebie, a person can be zoichet stam to come to big avoidus, and it's not b'schus himself at all. It's cooler b'schus to his kashrus to the tzaddik. And the Rebbe said over a story with the Talmidim of the Heilige Maggid of Mizrich. I'm sorry, the Talmidim of the Heilige Chayzul Blin. Said it's Kiyadu known that the Chayzul Blin had hundreds of Talmidim Bali Ruach HaKodesh. Mamish, they were all big Bali Ruach HaKodesh. But many of the fellows that were in this group, they were Mamish not really for anything special. They were not the most worked and the most affiliated, but they were Makushter Chayzul there, but they were echt a big. And the Rebbe said that when the Chayza Mulubli passed away, all these people lost all these darkness. The next morning after the Chayza passed away, they found themselves like there's no magic going on. They were simple. And I remember we said it from the Kotzkis, the Hektish Shemot. He said that the Nakuda was those that had Shaykhis to Torah, those that will learn it, that will talk about like avoida, even after the Chayshah passed away, they were still Zoych to their Asagis. But those that were stabbed, their whole eating was just as kashrus, yeah, so then once the Chayshah passed away, he took with all his madrigas. But had they had a little bit more chashuv, we could say this because I'm sure they were bigger than bigger than us. But the Matthias is the idea isn't just to connect and to get episode saga, and then once he passes away to be disconnected. The good is to use that bridge, to use that aid, that help, that through this kashus a person can be zoicher to hasaga, which is lamaila, which is hasaga which doesn't really belong to him, because hasaga is chus to kashus. And to use that to have a teyavon to be able to grow in Torah and Kedusha, mitzvahs ma'asim tovim. Avad that helps the oil and blood. There's so many stories of people that passed away that was Zoich Mamish, whether they were made after through coming back and Chaloimis or whatever in Yonim to Erlich Yidin to give over that the Koich, the Skashris brought them to very big places. But the Nakuda is Avad that helps us in this world and also helps us in the next world. And the ikr for us right now is what's going on in this world. But I just want to take a pause and discuss two stories that I heard. We enjoy stories. One that I just heard today from the Rebbe of Meilich, and one is a story that I heard many years ago from a very early, reliable source about the Heiliger Rebbe Nachman. So the story about the Rebbe of Meilich was that there was the Heiliger Rebbe of Meilich. There was a certain yid that used to come to his tishin, to his shiurim, to hang out by him. That the Heilige Rebbe Melech Moshe was very strong in the Chabad. I know what that means. I don't know if he used to put him. I think he used to put him close to him and Mamish. He had a lot of cover. They understood that the Rebbe Melech was able to see in the scene something nobody else saw. When the Rebbe Melech passed away, this yid went to one of his talmidim. One of his talmidim, and. What happened was, this Talmud was, listen, my Rebbe used to be Mechaber this fellow, so I should also be Mechaber this fellow. So he called him to sit next to him. And when he came next to him, he felt mamish that this guy was mamish. This guy was not holding in anything holy. He felt the vibe that this was something which was, he couldn't stand near him. They didn't know what to do with him. To be Merachik him, but his Rebbe was Makarim. But he saw that this yid was full of pagama. You know what to do? The Yid would come all the time, and Mamish, and expect the cover that the Rebbe Melech gave him to be given weiter by the Talmidim. But the Rebbe Melech gave me the respect, so why don't you give me the respect? But it used to bother so much, this Heilige Tzaddik. So, Tzaddik did whatever he knew how to do. He davened to try to be Mesakin this fellow, and this fellow passed away. Basically, he got him out of his Daled Amos. He nuked him through Tefillah. I that this fellow should, Anyways, short time later, this fellow that used to hang out, Sabbath Melech, and then later by this tzaddik came to this tzaddik in a dream. And he asked him, he said, why do you root me from the world? So he says, I'll tell you the truth. I was margish that you're doing some heavy sins. And I was afraid that Nebuch, you're going to fall into places that later it'll be much more difficult to get out. And I saw that you didn't have the koich. So I figured, I doubted the Abish, whatever happened. I was like, wait, it was for your benefit. So he said, but how come by our Rebbe, the Rebbe Melech, I was able to stay present, and then he didn't feel he had to send me. So he says, obviously, the Rebbe Melech was big enough to see and to be soiled, to be Mesakin, but be B'schus. So then the Rebbe, I think it was the Chayzer, said to this fellow, he said, listen, once you're up there, tell me what happened. What happened after you went up to the next world? So he says, I'll tell you the truth. I went up, I died, I came up to the next world, and the Malach Chabbalah were all over me. Oh, Mom, he's going to destroy me. And because of my sins, it was stuck sinful. And Mamish, at the last moment, all of a sudden, I gave a scream. I said, Rebbe! I met the Rebbe Melech. The Rebbe Melech comes, and he said, this fellow used to hang out with Mechitzasi, used to hang out at my court in this world, in the lower world. So now if he's here, the Rebbe Melech took him, and brought him to his court. So he says, now I'm hanging out in the court of the Rebbe Melech up in heaven. So the Chazir says, so why are you so upset? Why you come to me with Titus? You know, you're up there with the Rebbe Melech. Yeah, it's pretty good. So he told him, which we'll explain another time, he said that even though it's good, but there's a pain over here that I'm getting credit for things that I never earned. It's called the Hamad Chsufa. That means that really we come down to this world, really, there's a big talk in Sarm, it's a whole conversation, that really we could stay in the upper world. One of the reasons why the Eibush sends us down to work and to fight and to earn, because the schar up above, when it's unearned, is not as geschmack. Person works, it's painful. Painful. Imagine a person knows he gets something that he doesn't deserve. It's not as geschmack as when a person schwitzed hard to get to maskoret, it's appreciated. It's not so appreciated. So he says, even though I'm here, but if you would have left me, there was a possibility, maybe I would have done tshuva, and I wouldn't have had to have something called Nahamad Chsufa. That's that part of the Maaseh. But we see a Moed Gezach. These two just makusha, no matter where he was at. He always made sure to come to the Heilige Rebbe, the Rebbe Melech Lezhetsky. And when he saved his life big time in this world and forever for history. Then there's a story I heard from Rabbi Avram Cheshen. Avram Cheshen told me the story, so if I could say it over, because it's a true story. He told me that he knows the fellow person. This goes back. I heard it from him like 17 years ago. And he said that the story then was like 20 years before. Mamash by the first Messias, that when Uman was starting out, and people were able to go back to Ukraine. So he said that there was a fellow, a non-religious fellow that came to Uman. He was already getting more mafursim. People were coming to Uman already. It was Amish the first few years. And it was a lot of the fry. It was like it was a big party. It was like a good way to get some spiritual, to feel kosher about what you do, You're a Rosh Hashanah, Rabbeinu, and you can do whatever you want. This fellow Amish didn't keep nothing, no Rosh Hashanah. I'm afraid to say because I don't remember exactly the details, but it was pretty bad. I think it was Mamish, what happened was, as he's about to leave Rosh Hashanah, he's about to leave back to wherever he was going, he asked somebody, he's like, where's this Rabbi Nachman that everyone's talking about hang out? Like, where is he? I want to say thank you. What a festival. I want to just tell him thank you. He's like, he's in the grave, like in that house over there. He's like, he's dead. I'm having a big party and everyone's coming. Haredim were coming, but there's also a lot of party going on. So he sticks to it. He's like, great, okay, nobody really to schmooze to, so he opened, kicks open the door to the tzien, with his briefcase, and he's like, Rabbeinu tada, yakef. And then he just runs weiter. It's it. That was it. He said, thank you, it was so much fun, and he enjoyed Rosh Hashanah. But he really meant it. He meant it a lot. He meant as he was running. He thanked the Rebbe. He was like, he really meant it. He thanked him with the whole halak. Like, Rebbe, you brought me here. It was a cool festival. Thanks. And then weiter. A couple of months after Hashanah, this guy, he was a biker. He got into a terrible bike accident, and they pronounced him dead on the spot. Anyways, he said, what happened? I heard this from Avram Cheshen. He said, this is what happened. The guy went up, and it was the quickest court case ever. There was really nothing to be done. There was nothing really come for his benefit. And he was being sent straight to the dark devil's dungeon. And he didn't even know, how to put that, it was over. It was done, it was clear. In the upper world, everything is clear. There's no upper pot, I didn't mean it. Everything is clear. And as he's about to go, all of a sudden there's a big commotion. And all of a sudden, I don't know, less than the head of Nachman came and said, 1 second, this guy's my chassid. And Bezdin Shmuel was like laughing, like, what? This guy's your chassid. Look what we have in him. He says, no, he came to me Rosh Hashanah. He said, yeah, but you know what he did? And he said, Rabbeinu, toda rabba. He told me thank you. He was machniya. He's my chassid. He was there. And the recording was played. He said he heard the whole Toda Rabbah, Rabbeinu, Mamish, he heard. And he said, the Rebbe said, it's for my people. I take over the case. Give me some time with him. Let me matapel. And let's see what happens. And he told me, that he told me the seed is here with long pace, and his kids are here with long pace. Wow. That means Skashis the Tzadikim, Chassidus,
And he's in the doctor.
Mom's clinically dead. Mom's was sent back right away. Sent back.
Woke up in the hospital.
You woke up in the hospital. Mom is there. Can you imagine? The guy, we're connected to tzaddikim, but even the they help us aside the next room, like we saw in the first. Remember the whole thing.
You remember seeing, like, hearing himself.
He heard again to that, and I heard this from Chesed, the oldest of the Chesed brothers, all the big rabbis. He told me, and I want to tell you, there's so many stories. By the way, there's so many stories. There's a famous story, probably all over the internet. I'm sure all you guys saw with the guy from Yavneel. That was the Talmud of Marosh. Ever saw that? Also, a guy had the same thing. He was also, I don't remember what happened with him.
Fell off a highway?
I don't remember the whole story, but Marosh, B'chayav, saved him.
What happened? What was the story?
I'll tell you a story that I witnessed the guy say it over into his chochem. I don't mind saying it publicly because I was there with Shas Meiser. If it's true or not, I witnessed the guy tell it to the Rebbe did not deny it. I don't know. I was in Torah's chochem. And the Rebbe B'Shemayim. And a fellow came looking for the Rebbe. I was there. And a bunch of years ago. And the Rebbe came in, and the guy started shaking like a lulav, mamish. And then he was like, "People, what happened?" He said, "This guy's come from America. He was a terrible story. I don't know what the story was, and he was arrested, and the story was horrendous. Like he was going to be locked up for whatever." And somebody, in order to be machazik him, doesn't know where, somebody sent him a picture. To be machazik him in jail from Rebbe Shemai, from the Rebbe. And he said he used to talk to the picture the whole time. He saw like such a light. I heard him telling the Rebbe the story. And he said that Mamish used to be machazik him, and then like the whole story, he had to sit a while, whatever it was, but like Mamish, the whole thing was dimtak, and he was out, he was able to come to Israel, and he wanted to meet the Rebbe that saved him. And he was like, he was Mamish, the Rebbe never saw him, he never saw the Rebbe, but he was like, right? You were there with me the whole time. You was smart. Like he didn't say this guy is about Dimni. He didn't. The guy was there. He came from America to see who this fellow was. This is stories that you hear. The guy was mamish, like couldn't believe it. He was so glad. He's like, yeah, this is it. Mamish, you're so for it. These are stories you hear from hundreds of years ago. Tzadikim. There's one of the, I don't remember who it was. One of the tzadikim was Reb Shaila from Karistir. Shaila Karistir was an almana from Yerushalayim. I don't remember the whole story. It's in the book. Reb Shaila that was going collecting and like the whole. I remember the whole story. Something that Balamaisa, Reb Shaila came to her somewhere and saved her. I don't remember the whole plot. And later she came to Karistir and all over Europe to find that tzaddik. And she came to Reb Shaila and she fainted. I witnessed the story. A guy came in to see him being Mekushah to tzaddikim. This is not stam. The only thing is, let's be smart. Let's not wait to use it to when we're dead, even though it comes to our benefit. But then we have to suffer Naham the Chsufa. It's like, oh man, if I would have known what it means being Mekushah to tzaddik where I could get to, I could have been levels, But here, this is that if a person is a tzadikim, we spoke about this very strong the other day from the Balasum, from the word that he said from the Heilige Katzker. The person knows this whole koiches come because of from the tzaddik he's connected to. I mean, the person realizes that stells sich vor if the tzaddikim can help us when we're in that trouble. So we have to have the seichel. This needs a siyata d'shmaya to awaken ourselves to know that we can reach deep levels, awesome levels, very, very great levels.
Rabbi, did you tell us the story? I don't remember about. It was the Yid. Also, he passed away. He went to Shemayim, and they were about to bring him into Gan Eden, but they figured out that his bris wasn't kosher. And then what he used, he said, is an excuse. I went once maybe to the Baal Tanya or one of the Rebbeim, and Baal Tanya didn't tell me anything. He should have told me. So then the court checked it out and said, "You're right. He should have mentioned something." And then they let him in.
That's it. No.
So I heard him from different.
What's the Marosh? What's the story of Marosh?
Same thing. This fellow was over there.
Upstairs?
Yeah, this guy. It's a whole long story. It's a whole documentary.
Rabbi Spot also speaks about his story that something happened to him almost died.
Rabbi Alon Anava?
Rabbi Alon Anava, he has a story, right?
And who said it? Which
No, they sent him back down. They gave him a chance to come back. I don't know if any tzaddik came to save him then, but you have another chance.
Fred just told me a story last night. Somebody at the party, the Simchat Torah, somebody was on the way to the party, if I remember the close very quickly, and somebody asked for some breast that came in out something of it was a picture of a Sabi Yisrael. So whatever it says in the back of it, and he's like, here, take one. Someone already this guy on the way to the party. He's like, I was like, no, I don't need it. He's like, take what do you care? Just put it in the car. Like, I don't need it. He's like, okay, fine. You don't want it, fine. Just remember,
That was the guy gave me
For
that
10
story
hours,
in
he
the
said,
house.
What?
He said,
I heard that story too.
And he got trampled over. He got
He
trampled
was in
over.
this tent in a
In like a sleeping bag, like the military one, they flip over the face, and then when he heard like the commotion, like he opened it up, look what's going on. He saw like Balagan, he zipped it back up, like over
Started
his face,
screaming,
he starts
"Nah, nah,
nah.
10 hours straight.
People trampling over him. People trampling like it doesn't matter. Hamas, regular people in the party trampling over him. Just after a few hours, they're in Kirky. 4 hours in Kirky. The military found it. He opened it up, found him.
Tell you, it's kusher to Tzadikim. This is that.
yeah.
It's just pushed as a.
John is in the Polaroid, you know? You ever read the story? When he got out? It was the one that was in that bush not long ago.
This was Makashi to Tzadikim.
What?
It was Makashi to
I
Tzadikim.
remember the Tzadikim. I remember when he went into prison, that the guard told him that there's no lights. When he went in, there was no lights. So why is there no lights? He's like, anybody that went in there, nobody ever went out. So like, remember, look up, look down, because last time we seen the sky, and last time we seen the ground. He's like, no, I don't think so. Came out after a bunch of years. He was locked up. He got out, and the same guard was there. And he's like, you remember what we talked about? Remember you said, no, I'm never gonna see you. Punched in the face. Like the guard punched me in the face so hard because he got angry because like after so long you're gonna put it back in my face right now. After 30 years, I put it back in my face, and I punched him in the face. But he would say it was like a good punch, the best punch in the face he ever got.
Jonathan got
Yeah.
punched or punched him?
No, he got punched in the face after he got out. On his way out, he told the security guard, like, look at me, remember me? Remember what we said? I'm here. I'm on my way out. I'm alive. I'm on my way out. He said, he said, only person ever got out, only in the body bag. And he's like, here, I'm not in the body bag. I'm doing something like that. He punched him in the face. He said it was the best punch he got ever in the face. Everybody punched every guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
there
punched.
was a lot of stories that a guy got on the service of a tzaddik from, I don't know, from Morocco or something, to do Yotzai every year. Like his mother came to his father and he said, do it like every year. And then when his father passed away before, he said he told his son do it every year, and he's doing it already 7 years. He went to the party, and like at 5:45, he got an edict. He went, sat on the ground, and he saw on the hall, he saw the tzaddik, like that he does every that, and he's like he saw the tzaddik, and then he called his nephew who was with him. He's like, you see? He's like, no, I don't see nothing. He was like, I'm sure I see the tzaddik over here, Tzaddik Menace. I don't know what's happening. Let's leave. But then
You left. Then Skasha to Tzadikim. Skasha to Tzadikim. Come. You have my rabbi say. Wow, Moedik.
I heard much the other day. My friend, somebody knows his brother, and I know from back in the day, he got kidnapped by Hamas.